Yeah, in this video I'm going to explain you the 7 most typical problems you can encounter when building your own water feature or water wall for the first time. Actually, it's the most typical ones. There are several others I maybe will explain in some other videos, but let's just focus on the 7 most typical problems. First, it's pretty expensive. So if you don't have the reliable components, or if you try to make it run by trial and error, it can be pretty time consuming and money consuming to create a water wall which is really working and secure. So yeah, that's actually the first typical problem. It's pretty expensive if you don't know what you do. Then the second is unequal water distribution. So I think this is actually the biggest problem when producing water walls, because what you're probably going to encounter is that the water tends to connect itself to a stream, so that you will have dry areas instead of having the water really covering the whole surface. There are a couple of reasons for that. So first, it starts with the water distribution at the top, which is responsible for this effect. Then also the surface is responsible for this effect. So this is actually the most common question I've been asked, or the most popular problem. And actually I've spent a lot of hours at the beginning trying to make the water really run slowly across the complete surface, because that's actually then the art to have as less as possible water running, so that it runs slow, and to have the complete surface covered. Because it's not so difficult to have your surface covered if you use a lot of water, but if you have a lot of water, then you get a lot of splashing and a lot of noise. And it's also not so relaxing if you have it slowly flowing down the surface. Then a real serious problem is rust and corrosion. So if you don't take care of that, you might get water leaks which result in water damages. So you should not use materials which tend to rust. So that's also a mistake beginners make pretty often, because they use components which are not resistant against the quality of the water. So that's really something you should take care about when you plan your water feature, so that you have really a long time fun with it, and that you don't get surprised when the whole thing tilts one day. Then a really common problem is, which most people don't expect, is calcification, which makes your water feature and your water wall in the first place dirty. But also calcification will destroy your pump, and calcification can also lead to serious damages. So because when lime is stacking, it might build bridges where water can escape the system. So calcification can be a serious problem. That's why you should use always lime-free water or water additives to avoid that, or clean it in regular times with some additive which will remove the lime. And the fifth problem is germination and dirt. Actually, a water wall, a water feature, is also an air cleaner, but that means that all the dirt from the air will be stored in the water. So if you don't remove the dirt from the water, your water wall or water feature is going to get really ugly. And it's also a kind of a health issue, because germs can multiply themselves, and it's really not hygienic. So you should also take care of this, and many people don't know that that the water wall or water feature is really cleaning the air. So everything which is in the air, it will go into the water wall, and then you need to be prepared by setting up filters which will remove those particles from the water. Then very often in common are too loud pumps. In the first place, because it's simply the wrong pump. There are a couple of different pumps there in the market which can be used for draining tanks and etc. But there are only a few pumps which are really silent by themselves, and then if you don't set them up properly, they might get loud too. First reason why they can get loud is because the vibration of the pump is causing the components to make sound. Then another reason why pumps can get pretty loud is because they are regulated to a minimum, so they have to pump against an obstacle. That's what makes them loud too. And as I said, some pumps are not silent by themselves, so you really need to find pumps which are silent by themselves so that you can avoid the loud pumping noise, which can destroy the whole effect of a beautiful water feature. And then the seventh problem is loud splashes. And by the way, it's not only because they're loud, they also can cause water damages, because if permanently the water is dropping out of the system, your water feature is going to get empty soon, and if there's no water anymore in the system, then your pump gets dry and damaged. So preventing splashes is a very important factor, and this is what you should consider before you start planning and constructing and producing your water wall or water feature. So those are the 7 most common problems which I have just described here. We have it also, as you can see, in our blog post at wavatsen.net. You can read it there, and I would be happy and appreciate if you join us. And if you find this video useful, I would appreciate if you share it, and maybe we can see each other soon at wavatsen.net in our Waterfall school. Thank you.